Welcome, everyone. My name is Moal Sumidai, Chief Editor of the Clinical Trial Vanguard. I'm here at the Viva R&D and Quality Summit, and we have Bonnie Adams, who's the VP of Operations at Inhibrx. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Excellent. So happy to have to converse with you about some of these upcoming and exciting topics regarding technology and incorporating technology into clinical operations. Well, welcome. Thank you. So my first question to you, Bonnie, is with your extensive experience in operations and clinical management, how has Inhibrx established a robust technology foundation to support its growth? And perhaps can you share some examples of how this foundation has enabled more scalability and efficiency in clinical operations?
Sure. So I have only been with the company since November, actually, so it's been a little less than a year, but the CEO of the company hired me and brought me on really to build a more efficient operational model within the organization. So the organization has had a hybrid model to some extent in that they've been doing their own medical writing and had their own CRAs, but they were still pretty much fully outsourced to CROs and using CRO systems. And so Inhibrx has made the decision to bring all of the GXP systems in-house. And my experience in setting up companies in past life using Viva software, I was kind of the perfect shoe-in to do that operational revamp for the company. And we have actually launched 6 new software applications, and they're all integrated with each other in 4.5 months. And during that time, we actually started our first clinical trial using those systems. I could go on for hours about how efficient and wonderful this model is, but I can just sum up to say the quality, the cost savings, it's really a no-brainer to do this kind of change within an organization. But you really do need to have people that know how to do it. And you have to have the right team to put together to make it happen.
And how do you create a culture that supports this type of innovation within the organization?
The decision to change your operational model like this, that really needs to come from the top. So you really have to have CEO level buy-in on wanting to make things more efficient and putting that message out to your employees in your company wide, because we implemented a new quality system, we implemented a new regulatory system, we implemented a new data system, so everything is new, right? So from that top executive level coming down, it needed to have this message that we're going to try to do things more efficiently, we're going to try to save money, have more control, and do things faster, right? So from there, the next level is really having the executive team set up and buy-in, right? So the CEO says, this is what I want to do. The next layer down is now your team has to be strong and on board. And the people who aren't on board can't be part of the project. You really have to have people that are engaged and they're excited about this as well, to really make it happen. And then lastly, I would say you really do need to have a very strong quality team behind you, because the computer system validation effort that needs to go in to bringing 6 new systems that are all integrated with each other, it's a pretty, big project. And you also have to have IT support. So IT and QA are essential. And in setting up this in-house model, we did need to hire, additional quality and IT folks to make everything come together.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a completely different operational model compared to before, which is fantastic. So, Bonnie, integrating data across clinical, regulatory, safety, all these functions can be quite challenging because each function has its own role, they use different systems. What are some of the key challenges that Inhibrx faced in this integration, and how did you overcome those challenges to ensure seamless data flow and better decision-making across the functions?
Yeah, so, talking about the project team to bring all these software solutions in-house, it's not just the project team that's oriented around a single system. It's the project team at the company level, because you have a business process owner that's responsible for regulatory, a business process owner that's responsible for data or for clinical. Those people, the business process owners for each system, they need to be best friends with each other, because my data, from CTMS is flowing over, to RIM, so they're getting documents out of my system. I better know what the regulatory team expects to see, how they want it to come over, and make sure we're aligned. The other really key part of this, the buy-in from that group and the conversations, but also creating actual physical documents to help the team, right? So we have maps that we have built, which map between each one of the systems, and it shows these data fields map from here to here, and they are part of work instructions that we've built for our team. So people know this is the data that's coming over, or these are the documents that are coming over between the systems, so it's all mapped out. So there's transparency for folks that are gonna be the doers. Right, and so those kinds of documents that we had to put together, we actually had to collaborate on quite closely as well between the teams.
And automation is becoming increasingly important in the biopharmaceutical industry. So how is Inhibrx leveraging automation to streamline the flow of data across those different systems, and what impact has this had on operational efficiency?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, automation is really important. I mean, not a data focused piece, but I will comment that clinical supply distribution is automated now. So it is a software, element, but it's like as soon as a software solution, or as soon as there's a trigger within the software solution that a certain threshold has been reached with the drug supply, the system will automatically resupply new drug out to the sites. Sites don't have to manually fill out a piece of paper and send it in to get new drug to come out to them. Pieces like that, but also the automation within CTMS, for Veeva CTMS, for example, with the AI bot for eTMF filing is incredible, because you're reducing the risk of error. First of all, it's much more efficient, and things are going to the right place kind of automatically. And I have experience using the eTMF bot at my previous company for many years. It's fabulous. I didn't find a single document that wasn't filed in the right place. It's just astounding. So so as much as we can automate, you still have to check it though. So I'd say it's still really important to have the QC built in to make sure things are going in the right place and happening as you're expecting them to happen. But my experience has been really good so far, that really the tech has been able to answer the problem. Yeah.
And do you see this also integrating with the study sites? For example, rather than having the study sites their own system, right? Like having instead the eTMF, right? You access a 1572, but the site also has the same access, but different access is given to different documents, like trip reports, for example. The sites do not have access to that sponsor-specific data. But do you see that becoming the future, where sites upload certain documents and the sponsor and the sites will have access to that, and they all come together?
Well, I think that's Veeva's big push this year with Site Connect. So the Site Connect solution will enable better communication between the sponsors and the sites. So communication, document exchange, payment information, what we paid you on and not paid you on so far, and things like that. I think that a little bit of the challenge is going to be sites' willingness to adopt and bring on that technology. Unfortunately, so many of the industry, academic type centers have pretty restrictive policies in terms of what they're allowed to use from a software perspective. So I really hope that the sites can see the benefit and that they will utilize that type of communication. I will say that one of the biggest barriers that I hope that somebody in our industry can figure out is the transfer of data from an EMR into EDC. It is ridiculous that we have data like lab data, that sits at the site that can't just automatically come into EDC. Why should someone retype that in at the site level? It's just silly. The site personnel, they need to be able to spend time saving lives, not rekeying data. So I wish someone could fix that. I know there's been a few companies working on it, but it's pretty complex because everybody sets up their Epic system differently and so forth. So it's that integration is quite challenging. But if we could figure out that automation, that would be huge.
And last question, Bonnie. So looking ahead, how do you see Inhibrx technology landscape evolving? What are your top priorities for the future to support this technology adoption and this infrastructure across Inhibrx and the overall industry, and setting that example for advancement?
Just being willing to adopt tech and taking advantage of the changes that are coming down the pipe. I think that having Viva as a partner for us at Inhibrx is really important because they have so many solutions, and their solutions are connected. They have product-sized connections between those solutions. So, to me, having a partner like that is really important because I know they're paying attention to it. We're paying attention to drug development and trying to cure cancer. But but I'm not afraid of tech, that's for sure. And I think that executives need to have people in operations that have a background in tech, because that is the way of the future, and that is how this industry is going to be more efficient, is by using technology to make it happen.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Somebody needs to fix the EMR to EDC problem. I'll go back to that. That's my big thing that I want to get fixed in our industry. But yeah, I really think that, as efficient as we can make this industry, the better, because the quicker and cheaper we do what we're doing here, even if it's to make a decision that a drug doesn't work, the faster you can do that, the more you're taking your money and spending it on new drug development, so we can save more lives.
Thank you, Bonnie. This is Bonnie Adams, who is VP of Operations at Inhibrx. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.